Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Check Out the Tech. We check out all latest tech and tell you what it can do for you. Now, this episode was inspired by a question that someone asked me, and I wanted to get the exact answer, and that is, when it comes to video editing, how much of a difference really is it between an i7 with an integrated graphics and an i5 with the dedicated graphics? Because when you actually shop around, they're usually around the same price. So we have these two laptops from MSI, and we're gonna see exactly that. We're gonna have the same exact 1080p 60 frames per second video to edit and see how much of a difference it is when using it and how much of a difference, of course, it is at the end when we render. Now, this one is going to have an i5 with a GTX 1650 QMax, so not the fastest one, but again, at the same price pretty much, versus the i7 with the integrated graphics Iris graphics from Intel. So that being said, let's go ahead and see how each one does and how much of a difference do you think is gonna be at the end of the render? Let me know in the comment section. All right guys, so as you can see here, I first have the video playing right now just to see how well it stutters, how well it works all the way together. The fans are ramping up, I can hear them right now, and it definitely is struggling to play this 1080p at 60 frames a little bit. It is a high bit rate, so maybe that's why, but overall, you can kind of see what we're working with here, just a couple of different cuts, a couple of different layers to have a total of 3 video layers and then 2 audio. So overall, this has also been touched up a bit as well. Did some color correcting, did some audio correcting. So overall, we should have a decent one, especially this is about 11 minutes long. So we saw it kind of stutter a little bit. Again, this is the i5 with the 1650. So what that means is when we export this, we will have this name on it so we know which one took how long. And this is the main thing that we're going to be able to do because we do have a graphics card that is from NVIDIA. We are going to have the NVIDIA encoder and the codec be H.265. So we're going to see just how well it does with both the processor and the GPU going at it. And now that we have everything ready and set to go, let's go ahead, add to the render queue, and then see how long it takes. Now it's going through this again. This is an 11-minute clip. So I'm kind of curious to see how long it will take. I will tell you that my 10th gen i7 with a 2070 Super took about 2 minutes for this. So we're gonna see how long this one takes. It looks like it should be around 4 minutes. So we'll see if it ends up being correct or if it takes a little bit longer. Again, these fans are ramping up. I'm not sure if you can hear it from the mic, but they definitely are ramping up for sure on this one. So again, it's interesting to see how well this will turn out and how good it's gonna be. So I'm very kind of curious on this one, but let's go ahead and speed this up for you so you can see overall how well it did. All right, so there we have it. It is done, and the i5 with the GTX was able to do it in 4 minutes and 36 seconds. So as we saw, it did stutter a little bit when overall using it, and we did see as well that the rendering did take about double the time of an i7 with a really good graphics card. So now I'm very curious to see on the flip side how well the i7 with the Iris graphics does with this exact same clip. Again, not too much of a complicated clip. We had several layers, we had some audio correction, some color correction, some transitions, very basic overall. The biggest thing was that the files were bigger, and overall, you did have 11 minutes to get through, and it was able to do it in that amount of time, which I think is really good and respectable. So let's go ahead and see how the i7 does now. All right, now we have it all set up on the i7. So exact same thing, exact same everything on this one. Made sure that everything was the same kind of disabling of Norton, all that kind of stuff. Just as it comes out of the box, basically. We updated all the drivers on both, so they're both current. But other than that, I will say that so far, the i7 doesn't seem to stutter as much when just playing back the video. So that is kind of interesting. There are some stutters here and there, but I felt like the i5 with the GTX was a little bit more stuttery. And again, that's a 1650 versus an Iris, so maybe that might be it. Maybe if it was a 2060, 2070, obviously it would be better off. But again, we're gonna see how it performs. So now let's go ahead and render it. And again, we're doing the same exact things. Now we are going to use Intel's Quick Sync that they have, again, with DaVinci Resolve on here. So, and everything else is the same, exact same as we had before. So we're going to go ahead and start and see how long it takes to render. And now we are starting the rendering process. What do you think the difference is? Before looking at the number, what do you think the difference really will be? Do you think this is gonna be a lot slower, about the same because it is a 1650 QMax, or do you think it'll actually go a little bit faster with this Iris graphics? As of right now, it definitely looks like it's gonna be a longer process. The time it's quoting right now is around 11 minutes. We'll wait and see. Sometimes it is ramping up, and I will tell you the fans are definitely ramping up right now as I am talking. Definitely kicked up to another level. Not sure if you can hear it, but that is one thing that I immediately noticed right away. Overall, I will let it kind of play through and we will talk about the results. Okay, and wow, we are officially done. And I expected a difference. I did not expect a blowout. This i7 with integrated graphics took 12 minutes to render an 11-minute video. That is pretty hilarious overall. I will say I definitely didn't expect that much of a blowout. It was a little bit unexpected for me. So let's recap. All right, so at the end of the day, when we put these two together, it really does make a huge difference. I knew it was gonna be a difference. I didn't know, again, it would be a blowout. So 4 minutes, a little over 4 minutes on the i5 with a 1650 QMax. Let that sink in too. It's a 1650 QMax, not a newer 3050 or anything like that, but a 1650 QMax versus an Intel i7 with integrated graphics. So that was a huge difference of 12 minutes compared to a little over 4 minutes. That just really proves the point that if you are looking for a laptop this holiday season, whether it be Black Friday or any time this year, and you are looking into creating your own content, you really need a graphics card. Even if it's an old one, you know, even if it's a 1650, even if it's an MX, you know, 3030, 3050, whatever you're looking for, you want a dedicated graphics card. It does make all the difference in the world, and it really will help out your speed. What other videos do you want to see like this? Do you want to see these two do a gaming comparison, a benchmark comparison? What do you want to see from this series while we have these two laptops? I think I can think of some fun things. Let me know in the comments sections, were you close to getting the numbers right for an 11-minute video? Were you close at all of a 4-minute and 12-minute ending? I gotta admit, I was a little surprised by that, and definitely I know if I'm gonna get a laptop for my daughter who wants to get into creating her own content, I think I'm gonna go with an i5 and the integrated graphics to start her off with. Thank you guys always so much for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy.